Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sellerboard Show. My name is Vladi Gordon, and our today's guest is Jana Krekic from YLT Translations.com. We're going to talk about translating your listings, expanding internationally from the US to Europe, from Europe to Japan. And Jana shared a couple of interesting examples, a couple of failures as well, mistakes, things that you shouldn't do when you're localizing and translating your listings, because it's not only the translation. You need to make sure your listing is also localized. For example, if you're going from the US to Germany, then you need to use different terms sometimes. And sometimes if you directly translate the keywords, then you're not going to end up with correct keywords. So Jana talked about this. If you are planning to expand your business to Europe or in general to go international, then you're going to find a lot of good tips in this podcast. Before we start, please give us a like if you like this video, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. And if you're not a Sellerboard customer yet, or if you've never tried it, then go ahead and try sellerboard.com is our website, and we have a free trial. Our vision is to be the world's most accurate profit analytics tool for Amazon sellers at a very competitive price point, starting at $19 a month. And in addition, we have a lot of other tools in the package as well, like the reimbursements for lost and damaged goods, for example. So these are cases where Amazon owes you money. We can find those cases and help you contact the seller support and eventually get your money back. We have an inventory manager in the package. We have a PPC optimization module, and a couple of other very exciting things coming up. So make sure you try the software for free. The link is in the description. And now let's start. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Sellerboard Show. My name is Vladi, and today with me I have Jana Krekic from YLT Translations. Hi, Jana.
Hi, Vladi. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thanks so much for joining us. So we're going to talk about going international, right? And I think that's a very important topic because we need to diversify, and it's important for sellers like to be present everywhere, right? Maximize their revenue.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And what I really want to emphasize today is that if of course everybody wants to sell in the US market, but we've had a lot of sellers and a lot of clients that sell on US market, and they were not doing that good, or they had like too many competitors. And then they decided to go to the European markets. They did the pan-European registration and everything. And now they're basically doing as much as they were earning on the US market, they're earning on the European markets, all the 4 European markets. And some of them are doing even more, because what a lot of people don't do is like they never even check, let's say the German market, which is the biggest European market. They don't check to see if they have maybe like 2 competitors or maybe 1 competitor, and they don't compare it to their home market. So sometimes it's a really good idea. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't take a lot of time. Just go to the German market, for instance, or UK market, and just check how many competitors you guys have over there. And maybe this is just a good fit for your product. So,
very cool.
Do that today.
Okay, so cool. Jana, tell us about yourself, and actually, how did you join this Amazon universe?
Right. So I am actually a translator. I have my bachelor and master's in Scandinavian languages and German language. And my first job was to work in a call center of this big Danish, it was going to be later a very big Danish e-commerce, but at the beginning it was just like 5 of us. It was sort of like a startup. And and then after about 3 or 4 years, they grew into one of the biggest Danish e-commerces out there. And I was working for them for about 8 years. At the end, I was also CEO, and also they were selling on Amazon as well, apart from their e-commerce platform. And they had about 100,000 products.
Wow.
So this was like 12 years ago. So it was, pretty new. But I was lucky because my ex-boss, he was like very interested in all of the innovations that were out there in the market. So we were basically like one of the first to always try what's new and, what might be working. and what might increase your revenue. So I was really interested. I got really interested in Amazon while working there, and then I was leading a team of people. We had literally like the translations were those catalog, translations without any specific keyword research or bullets or anything like it. And then when we first started doing keyword research and doing better job with the listing copywriting, things kind of started to improve a lot. And then we went to other markets. I just didn't like the fact of having the machine translation. I thought that it could go better if we did things right way. And I know I was like persuading my ex-boss, like, no, we should use better translators, let's do this, blah blah. But he didn't want to invest too much money. But I saw a really big potential, and I saw that on the market you don't have an actual service provider that knows what they're doing. Usually people are doing like regular translations, or you have agencies that offer like everything from product launch to to translations eventually. And I decided to quit my job about 3.5 years ago. And because I always wanted to do something on my own. And we first started doing e-commerce translations as like my side job, and then I just decided to niche down and do only Amazon translations. I trained people, and now there are 42 team members on my team. And we've grown so much in the previous year. We've been doing this for about 2 years, but let's say I would like to say like 1.5 years, because the first 6 months were not that good. They were like, only a couple of listings per month. And, just to kind of, go back and just, look at what we've done. And now we do like, hundreds of listings every month. It's just, it's been like a great ride.
Wow, 42 people. Oh my God. So what are they doing? Is like translators?
Yeah, some of them are translators. I have also project managers, team leaders, my accountant, the graphic designer, my assistant. So people who are not translators, I think there's 8 of them, and all other are translators. They're all natives. We only work with native translators, because what I did, I just have to tell you that in the beginning, I'm from Serbia, right? And we all know how people like the cheap workforce, so I could have like better profit, right? So at the beginning, I decided to work with Serbian people who were very, very proficient in a foreign language. Let's say I hired someone who had 20 years experience in doing some German translators or translations, or was born in Germany, born and raised. But then at the end, things were not looking that good when doing listings with keywords, because all the translators, they have to do the keyword research. So the thing is, like, when somebody learned a language and they want to do the listing translation, they just don't have this like specific feel. So they don't see how things got kind of a little bit mixed up, and they sound kind of weird after you use the keywords in the listings. And we got some bad feedback, and I just decided not to do it anymore. And I absolutely, from that point, which was 1.5 years ago when things kind of started scaling, I decided to only use native translators who have experience in copywriting and who absolutely know what they're doing. Because, this business is like word of mouth, and, you really don't want to get bad reputation for having poor listings. And I really want people to get out there and maximize their profits by doing international.
So what are you guys doing, like translations? You mentioned the graphic designers, so are you also like organizing pictures and everything?
No, we're not doing pictures. This is something for our website and for our newsletter, and this is for internal use. So we do translations. We do translations of listings with keyword research. We do translations of follow-up emails, ads translation, Q&A. We do customer service subscription plan, which is a really cool service. Basically, if you have comments or questions on the reviews, we can get it done in just a couple of hours. Like, you tell us what to say, and then we get you a reply in the target language. It's a very fast service. And I think Amazon charges like $600 for one language, and it's machine translation. We charge as much for 4 languages, and you get translations in a couple of hours. So basically, we do all sorts of translations you need on international markets. So if you have anything written in English, we can translate it for you. And we've also started doing copywriting for European markets as well. And a lot of people, because, I actually add services because like service and demand thing. So a lot of people were like, I don't know how to upload this with my account. We do provide a template where it's like everything is pretty much clearly written, where the title and the bullets. but people just don't want to even, hassle with that. So we also decided to create flat files. So we also create flat files so you can just upload them to your account and you
Yeah.
don't have to bother
Okay.
with that at all.
Tell us, like, what's the most frequent direction of the translation? Is it like is it US sellers coming to Europe, Europe going to US?
Well, we're focused mostly on European markets, so we don't offer US market as like Europeans that want to go to the US market, but usually people come from the US to go to Europe, and other European sellers just want to move on to other markets. Let's say UK sellers and German sellers, they want to expand to other markets. Also recently in October, we found out that Amazon is going to start the selling in the Netherlands. So Dutch Amazon is supposed to be going to be pretty big. We've got a lot of inquiries from German sellers to translate their products for that market. And I was really honestly super surprised to find out about that, because in the Netherlands, you have this market called Bol, and everybody uses it. I mean, and then, since October, we've had about like 100 of ASINs we've done for sellers. They want to just go all into the Dutch market. And we have some more coming. So I don't know, maybe this market might be also an interesting market for German sellers or UK sellers. I don't think US sellers would be interested in that market, but I think it might be good for German and UK sellers. US sellers, they're mostly interested in the German market, which is the biggest market in Europe.
Yeah.
And they decide to do, pan-European. They just register for the pan-European system. But the main thing what people totally don't think about, coming from the States or UK or any other country, is that if you have your listings, let's say if you have a US listing written in those like Salesly, they have a lot of sales pitch, buy my product, buy, like super cute, amazing product. They just take this listing and they just translate it like it is on the German market.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very big mistake, because German market doesn't work like that. First of all, people over there, they don't want you to, they don't want you to push them to buy your product. They hate that. They don't want this product to be super cutie, amazing product. It's just it's not the vibe the market wants. And also they're all about like clearly written descriptions. It's like bam, bam, bam. Like, tell us what it is, what are the ingredients, and don't give me all this like cutie pie
Marketing
story
stuff.
about your product. They really don't like it, and this can be a reason why they want to skip to another product, because it's like I don't feel like this is going to be good. And if you don't tell them the important information they're looking for, you just do the sales pitch without any crucial information of how to use their product. Is it safe for their babies? Is it BPA free? They're not going to be happy, or probably not going to buy your product. And I really like one of the examples I use when I talk at like different conferences, is this espresso cup. Like, it's a small glass espresso cup with it. So the original US listing says like, this keeps your fingers warm, just like your grandmother used to knit, blah, blah, blah. I know, it's just like this cute story. And the German translation is thermo isolated glass. It's like, yeah, or it's more of a get like to be like a concrete example.
Yeah.
It's just a really straightforward. And this is very important. And this is what localization is all about. Localization is not only if you change the inches to centimeters and sizes. This is what it's actually about. And I think people will make a lot of mistakes about just doing direct translations from the source to the target text, because this is mistakes. You're not gonna translate the direct metaphor from one language to another. Also, a couple of times you're probably going to omit some sentences that don't make any sense on this other market. And you cannot have, I think if you have like a 100% of the same text to another market, is probably something that should have been done better other than what you have been doing.
So tell me, like, if somebody's selling in the US, and I think that's a big part of our customers, right? Yeah. When should they think about going to Europe? Because this is there's an administrative overhead in this, right?
Yeah, there is. Right.
So, like, what's your take on this? Your experience?
Well, a lot of our US sellers, like nobody contacted us when they were just starting to sell or a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
They always contact us where they're happy with their revenue. They want to earn more money. Maybe if they hit the wall over there, maybe they cannot make more money, but they are
Mm-hmm.
well-established sellers
Mm-hmm.
and they just want to do something else so they can get ahead of their competitors.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they're doing, and they're
Mm-hmm.
willing to wait. I know there's a problem with VAT in Germany, and but basically, if it's like in the long run, it really pays off. And if you want to wait, this is like a long-term solution. You cannot just like send products and expect to start selling like in 2 weeks. So it
Mm-hmm.
takes a couple of months, about like 6-7 months to get it started. But once you get started and once you do a good market research, I think you can do really, really well. But don't start that before you are well established on
Mm-hmm.
one market. This is what I would suggest to people.
So tell me, like, when do people actually, when your customers come to you? Is it when they like decide to move to Europe, or is it rather when they have the VAT and the bureaucracy stuff set up, and then or you need to localize, launch, and so on?
Yeah, exactly. This is what everything is ready. This is what they've
Mm-hmm.
taken care of their VATs,
Mm-hmm.
registered their company, and so on. We don't do any VAT registration help or anything like it,
Mm-hmm.
but we have a really good partner agency that we could recommend,
Mm-hmm.
so that seller's life is made easier. But of course, when it comes to product launch, we can always give some advice from our experience.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I say and whenever I give some like case studies and examples, I really talk from our rich experience, because we really deal with a lot of clients and with different categories, and people have different problems. So I hear a lot of different things. Even though I'm not a seller myself, I really know a lot just by talking to our clients. We also, when we're done with the project, we ask for feedback, and I really enjoy hearing everybody's experience, because I'm not talking to like 10 people, I'm talking to hundreds of people, and then you never know what new you can learn, what was the
Mm-hmm.
problem, or maybe what helped resolve the problem, and stuff like that.
Okay, very cool. So tell us like more about localization and what can go wrong basically when you're
Yeah.
localizing.
Well, basically, the thing that can go wrong is that you did not do a good market research, so you actually don't know how to localize it properly. And there are so many examples of what people, for instance, would hate when, I mean, this happened to really, really big brands. These were not like sellers or, you and me. These were like, Hyundai or Dolce Gabbana, and like stuff like that happened to them. Like, Dolce Gabbana, for instance, like 2 years ago, they just wanted to make this like awesome campaign combining Chinese culture and Italian culture, and so they like made this promotional video with this Chinese girl, and she was eating pizza with her chopsticks, right?
Oh my
And
God.
this was like kind of localized video promotional
Mm-hmm.
material, right? And then they did it in China, and Chinese, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know how much they get offended, and they're very sensitive when it comes to Chinese culture.
Mm-hmm.
And they got super pissed, and they literally, what this all ended in having Dolce Gabbana banned. So they like banned their merchandise on Chinese e-commerce.
Oh my gosh.
So this was very, very bad, and this was just a lack of somebody saying like, common sense is that you
Mm-hmm.
never do something like that, right? But and especially not launch it in that country. Maybe if you would launch it in Italy, maybe they would not know it that much. But it was like specially made for the Chinese market,
Yeah.
and this was such a disaster. Or I don't know, like Hyundai had this car model called Hyundai Kona.
Mm-hmm.
Kona is a Hawaiian island, okay, but it was sold in Portugal, and in Portugal, Kona meant like a female organ, right, in
Okay.
slang. And
Okay.
so people were just like, oh my God, and they lost a lot of money because they needed to change that SAP, and they already started producing it for the Portuguese market, and then eventually they just changed it to Hyundai Kauai, which is just a different Hawaiian island, which
Okay.
didn't have any bad connotation in Portuguese,
Mm-hmm.
for instance. but a lot of things can go wrong. And sometimes if you have like a metaphor, and we just had this, it was about it was like the plant, and there was a UK listing, and it was about having like green fingers because you work in the garden and stuff, but actually in German it would translate it as a green thumb, not green fingers but green thumb. And a lot of the seller, they were translated as green fingers, which doesn't have any meaning. Like, why would I have green fingers when I'm doing like this DIY kit? And also a very common mistake is people translate in German, they translate the sentence going an extra mile, and there is no literal translation like going the extra mile in German. You cannot say it like that, right? And we have seen a lot of these mistakes going the extra mile in random categories, because what we also do is like you can send us your already translated listings, and we can give you a feedback on those, like if they're good, if they need more keywords, if the language is poor, if you need more localization. So I see a lot of things that people are doing which is absolutely, doesn't make any sense. The rest of the whole translation might be good, but this localization part, if that failed, is going to be like very, very weird. Germans don't understand what do you want to say by this. And, but this green thumb was like, was a very interesting example to
conversion killer.
Yeah, absolute conversion killer.
So tell us about the keywords. Like, how do you go? And I think that's a very important thing, because like keywords are also sometimes different, localized, or people are searching like maybe for different things, right? So how do you do this?
Also, another mistake is that a lot of people, they just use Google Translate to translate the keywords from one market to another. Or they just hire a regular translator and they just give like this like 50 keywords to translator, just like do it for the French market. And this is a big mistake, because you have to do the keyword research for each market separately. Because if we're talking about this DIY plant kit, the French buyer and German buyer are not going to search for it the same way. Sometimes the long tail keywords could match, and you can be like, okay, like this is absolutely the same. But in a lot of cases, not all long tail combination like of keywords are going to be the same as on one market to another. And we love to use Helium 10, of course. There's been like the best tool. But if you don't want to invest money, or like you just want to try out and see how you can do this yourself, you can use Sonar. This is Select's tool, and Sonar is free and gives you the search volume, so you can just see how good this keyword is. And what we also like to use is AMZ Suggestion Expander. It's a Google Chrome, and it gives you like a really good ideas of the possible keyword combination. It doesn't get any search volume, but it's really good, because sometimes Helium or Sonar, they're not going to get like a really good database, because maybe a lot of competitors don't have really good listings, or there are not that many competitors to take the information from. So you can actually use, like, say if you put like a DIY kit, and then like there's going to be like a drop down menu, you're going to have like combinations of possible keyword combinations are going to show up, and usually they're pretty good. So we like to use Helium 10, and it's really important to know, for instance, doing the magnet research, you really want to ask someone, how would you call this product in German? Because what we've come across is that sometimes Google Translate or regular translators, like this is an example for the kitchen faucet, it translates as rubinetto, which is some sort of a faucet, right? This is what people would say. But if you put rubinetto, an Italian market, on Amazon, you're not going to get a faucet. You're going to get something completely weird. And faucets are going to start like from like page 3. But like what they say, like where to hide a dead body, it's page 2. So basically nobody's gonna go there. And then by asking someone, you don't have to ask I don't have to ask Amazon translator to do it. You just ask someone who knows the language, and ask him to do a little research on Amazon. And when he comes up with the right phrase, syntax with this long tail keyword, you put this in Helium 10 in magnet research, and then you're probably going to get good results. If those top 3 pictures are not the product you're looking for, then you're probably doing something wrong. So that's very important, because like when you first start like on the international market, Amazon gives you this like, honeymoon period, when you
Yeah.
get like more than you deserve, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to blow this opportunity also by using wrong keywords in your PPC campaigns.
Yeah,
Because what's
absolutely.
important is like when we do keyword research, you have this list of keywords and you can totally use it in your PPC campaigns. You can rest assured that this is actually what's relevant for your product, right? So you don't want to start by being relevant for irrelevant terms or terms that are too broad, because you're gonna just click-through rate's not gonna go down and you have a lot of impressions. But then when Amazon figures out you're not important for that, it's gonna be like placed somewhere else, and then it takes forever for you to come back. And and we also we do the market research, we do the reverse ASIN, the Cerebro with all the competitors. I will always say that if you do the reverse ASIN with the get the competitors button, it's always good to have like around 7 to 9 competitors so you can get like better data. If you have only if you take maybe like 1 or 2, maybe that's not going to be good enough. So, and what we do is that we put all that in the database, and basically we put like a search volume not to be lower than 250 depending on the product. And then we put all this in the keyword database. And what we do with this Cerebro database is that we use we use 2 Excel formulas, which kind of make our life easier in seeing which ASINs are relevant for what keywords and what keywords are relevant for what ASINs you have in that Excel table. Also, a really good tip is in Helium, how you have like the word count, right? So for instance, for the German market, it's really it's a mistake only to put 2 as a 2 word count. Of course, it's a long tail keyword to consist of at least two words, right? But the German language, as you know, it has like this long compound keywords, which consist of like 2 or 3. And this is what's not going to be taken into consideration if you just put 2. So for German language, they only put 1, because sometimes you're not going to get a really good keyword just because you put 2, which eliminates all these like really good compound words. So this is something, and also got a lot of questions about the French market and the keywords. How French words, they have all these like accents, like crème is with the accent, and this is the right way how to use it. But in keyword results, you often have words we don't have any accents and are really like, they have like big search volume. So how you can actually use these words without the accents, because you don't want to use them without in a regular, bullet, because it's not grammatically correct. But the way how you can use them without the accents is by capitalizing them. So maybe this is a good idea for bullets to start with these like capitalization words and then explain what did you mean by,
because there is no accent in a capital like
there are no accents on the capital letters in French. Like you
that's a
can
cool
use
tip.
them, but it's absolutely okay if you're not going to use them.
Okay, so if you write them in uppercase without those accents, then you get ranked for
yes,
like
absolutely, yeah,
keywords without accents. Oh, that's interesting. Okay,
yeah,
cool. And tell me, I can imagine, like, if somebody wants to launch in Europe, right? They can hire you, and you do the whole localization and keyword research. That's fine. We can end up with good listings, right? But like, how do you go about PPC? Because PPC is also a topic. You need to kind of understand the keywords, right? And okay, you can initially put in the keywords that you researched, but like, how does somebody manage PPC without knowing the language?
Well, they also have, I mean, I don't know, there are a lot of PPC agencies who deal with European markets and stuff, but for instance, we have a partner PPC agency, and we work close because we send them keywords for, let's say, Japanese market or Italian market, and this is how we work with them. I don't know how others deal with that, but a lot of PPC agencies offer European markets. So I guess, and a lot of people have in-house PPC experts who come from different countries, and they use their skills.
Do you think you need to know the language to optimize PPC, or can you do it like with a translator plus general PPC knowledge?
I think you need to just have a good keyword, just with doing the keyword research, and you can do it yourself. You just need to have like the the name of the product, you have to get it right. And
Yeah.
you can literally get that to anyone who has like 10 minutes to help you, who speaks the language. You don't
Okay.
have to be, I don't know what proficiency level.
Yeah.
I can, like find this for Italian, for
Mm-hmm.
instance.
Mm-hmm.
Just if I do like a little research on Amazon, and then if this person can give you the right long tail keyword to base your search on,
Mm-hmm.
then you're good to go. And you
Okay.
can use these to optimize your PPC campaigns.
So let's talk about Japan for a second.
Okay.
Like I was thinking about, when I was a seller, I was thinking about launching in Japan because I've heard some podcasts and they were talking about Japan, and it's very different and very like complicated and everything. But then I kind of started my research on Amazon Co. JP, I believe, and
Mm-hmm.
I kind of was totally lost, right? So because if I go to an Italian page or French or
Yeah.
even like Spanish, you kind of don't understand, but you do a little bit, right? Some
Right.
words are similar, right? And you can at least read them, maybe
Right.
not that correctly. But in Japan, it's like you're completely lost, right?
Yeah. I
Um,
mean,
so how does this work? Like,
well, people are literally, this is like the first obstacle which keeps people away from starting something on Japanese market. People
yeah.
just freak out because of the alphabet, because of, like everything. And it's just like, oh my God. And basically it takes the same amount of time to get the products to Japan as you want, like, for instance, to get them in Europe from the States, so that's nothing too
Mm-hmm.
complicated. But usually people just like, here you go, like do whatever you think, like, I don't know what I'm doing, and just, I need somebody who can do it the proper way. The thing with Japanese market is that you really have to have a good product for that market. It really has to be a good fit. And I consider Japanese market as like a very, very good opportunity, business opportunity for people's products. But not everything is going to sell the same way it's been selling in Europe
Mm-hmm.
or the States. Like the products in the States, if you just, get them, like ship them over in Europe and start on some market, it's probably going to do well, if it's a good product, if it's a bestseller in the States, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do well in Japanese market. So
Mm-hmm.
first of all, you have to find out if there's like a really good fit, if there's a market for your product. And you can easily find that out. I mean, there are like so many groups with like expats, with Japanese people, and you can just ask them like, hey guys, what do you think about this product? Like, would you buy this? And it's either like a strong yes or a strong no. There's like
Mm-hmm.
nothing in middle, because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is not gonna work, or
Mm-hmm.
this is gonna work. So we had like a lot of weird products, like we're doing like for Japanese market, usually in some like fluo colors and something like very, you think the kids would use it but adults use it sort of products,
Okay.
like stuff like that. And the feedback we get from our clients is that you have to kind of wait longer to get results in the Japanese market. Let's say, for instance, like on the German market, if you're into uh, kids category, if you're selling face paint, glitter, crayons, any of them, you can get results in 2 weeks. You're like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm selling this product like crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
on the Japanese market, from we've heard from our clients, is that they had to wait a couple of months until they got some like first initial purchase, or even like longer time than that. It's just like how it goes. I mean, like the US market is like, it's really fast, it like goes like this. But Japanese market, I would say it's quite slow. But I think if you have the right product for that market, I think you can like literally get like have a lot of gold nuggets from that
Mm-hmm.
marketplace. And Japanese language it's really interesting, because I mean, you don't have any keyword research, so you have to do everything manually. One of our translators, he found this website where he can check like for possible keywords, something like AMZ suggestion expander, but that's it. It's nothing else has been made. So you just
Mm-hmm.
have to go and check your competitors, do everything manually. And the thing with the Japanese language is that Japanese language has like these like English words, but written in Japanese,
Oh my
right?
God.
And then there is Japanese. So you
Okay.
have to kind of make the mix of both when doing the keywords,
Mm-hmm.
so that you got yourself all covered. So I mean, it sounds very difficult, but when somebody knows what they're doing, it's not that hard. But that's why you absolutely want to hire only Japanese people and doing that, because
Yeah.
I think that somebody who learned the language in the States or Europe or knows it, you just really have to know and feel the culture and everything. They also have like some Also, they also have like their own special holidays. You know, it's like 11/11 in China. You know, they also have like different holidays in Japan, like different cultural aspects. Also, when like people are selling clothes, they just forget that, you know, XL, like extra large, is just not gonna work in China. Like nobody's gonna buy that, right? And stuff like that. I mean, there are like a lot of interesting things that people should really, you know, pay attention to.
What do they even have extra large in China? Or
No, it's only like a small and medium, I think. Yeah.
oh, but it's like they use the same letters, right? So medium is
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just
what?
saying that in Japan, like people are not that big,
Yeah,
right?
they're generally
And
smaller.
guys
Yeah.
are not gonna, I mean, of course some of them are maybe
Mm-hmm.
XL, like extra large,
Mm-hmm.
but and like a lot of products for guys in Europe and the States are large or extra large, right?
Okay.
And this is the market where you absolutely don't want to, you know, even bother shipping those products, because it's not going to be a lot of
Yeah.
people be buying them.
The thing is, I was buying some t-shirts on AliExpress just to test them. And
Oh,
I
okay.
think, you know, I'm not a huge guy. I mean, I'm like, I don't know, maybe L in Europe.
Yeah.
And I think I bought like something like an XXL on AliExpress,
Yeah.
and it was still too small.
It's small.
Uh,
Yeah. No, yeah, that's it. Yeah. So basically you have to like really, you know, adjust your products. And
yeah,
you know, I think, yeah, you, of course you wanted to, you know, expect like a very big t-shirt, but I think this is what people expect from extra large in that part of the world, you know.
yeah. Wow. So, Jana, tell us, um, can you share some pricing information? So if somebody wants to book you, like
Yeah,
what kind of
sure.
budget should we prepare?
Yeah, well, I would like to offer a really good discount for all of your viewers. We're going to be offering 20% discount on all of our services by the end
Mm-hmm.
of January. So January and December are basically the busiest time of the year for us, because
Mm-hmm.
in December, everybody wants to do it, you know, before Christmas. And
Mm-hmm.
then in January, it's like, oh, it's a fresh start. Let's start it right from January, you know. So it's
Nice.
like
Mm-hmm.
the peak of the season is like these 2 months. So I
Mm-hmm.
would just like to extend the offer to, you know, January 31st.
Mm-hmm.
This includes everything we do, from listing translation with keyword research to customer subscription plan and everything we offer. Usually how we charge when going to pan-European, so if you want to do one listing to 4 languages,
Mm-hmm.
it's 320 euros. This
Mm-hmm.
includes, of course, keyword research, includes localization, backend search terms, and we don't have any word limit. So if your product has product description and it's like 300 words long, or if it's an A+ content, the price stays the same. So it's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely the same price. And if you have 5 or more ASINs, the price drops even
Mm-hmm.
more. So if you have more than 5 ASINs you'd like to do, just, you know, contact me, and I'm be happy to give you a really good quote.
Mm-hmm.
My email address is jana@ylt-translations.com.
Okay, we'll
And
put it in the description.
also, I just forgot, if you have translations already and you're wondering why they're not performing so well, or if you're wondering if there's something that can be improved, just please send over those ASINs. We'll be happy to take a look and give a feedback at absolutely no charge.
Okay, very cool. So we'll put the link in the description and your email. And do we need to do anything special to get the deal, or just say that?
No,
I know we're.
you can just say that you just watched us or heard us at sellerboard,
Mhm.
and that's it. Yeah.
Very cool. Thanks so much, Jana. It's amazing how you built your team and scaled. So I'm a big fan. Good luck with your business.
Thank you so much, and I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and to be to even better 2020. And really, thank you so much for inviting me here. It was a pleasure.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please press the like button if you like this video, and make sure you're subscribed to this channel. We're doing our best to interview the experts in the Amazon selling ecosystem to bring you as much value as possible for free. See you next time, and bye-bye.